I would like to call this December 3rd, 2020 meeting of the Bristol Borough Board of Education to order. We met in executive session from 6 o'clock to discuss some legal issues and apologize for the slight delay. I'm also going to read our virtual statement here. This meeting will be conducted live in a virtual format via Zoom technology. As with the previous board meetings, this process is permissible under and consistent with applicable Pennsylvania School Code, the Sunshine Act, and the Bristol Borough School District policy provisions. Public access for participation in the meeting can be accomplished per instructions attached. And so as we call to order, could everyone please stand and say the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic
for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, Jen, would you like to do a roll call vote for attendance?
Yes. Mr. Cullen?
Sorry, here.
Okay. Mr. DeMarcus?
Here.
Ms. Paglione?
Here,
Mr. Poliafico?
Here.
Mr. Parolo?
Here.
Mr. Poplawski?
Here.
Mr. Reason?
Here.
Mr. Chicoletti?
Here.
And Mr. D'Angelo?
I'm here. Thanks, Jen. Okay, item number one, could we get a motion to approve the complete agenda with any addendums or table items? Get a
Mr. Chairman,
motion.
move.
Mr. Chicoletti, could I get a second?
Second.
Second, that's Mr. Collin. Jen, you want to do a roll call?
Okay. Mr. Cullen?
Yes.
Mr. DeMarcus?
Yes.
Ms. Paglione?
yes,
Mr. Poliafico?
Yes.
Mr. Parolo?
Yes.
Mr. Poplawski?
Yes.
Mr. Reason?
Yes.
Mr. Chicoletti?
Yes.
And Mr. D'Angelo?
Yes.
Approved.
Okay,
Mr. Chairman, approve the recommended changes to the district health and safety plan.
Not Dave, you're skipping Dave.
Yeah,
You're skipping, is that the first thing on the motion?
no, is this, we under new business? I'm sorry.
No, we're gonna do, reports and, Dr. Minetti is gonna
Oh,
update.
okay, all right. No, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll start giving my report then. In an abundance of caution, the district will remain virtual until January 11th. We will reopen on January 11th. The exception to this will be our low instance special education students who will have the option to return to instruction 4 days a week. The weeks of from December 7th until December 18th, for the next 2 weeks. All students will be virtual from December 21st through January 11th. So just to repeat, because I know it's kind of confusing, the district will remain closed in doing virtual instruction until January 11th. We will reopen on January 11th. The exception to that will be our low incidence special education students who will be able to attend if their parents choose from December 7th through December 18th. The district has also decided that we will be suspending wrestling for the 2020-2021 school year. However, we will return to play under the health and safety plan guidelines for girls and boys basketball and for bowling. So that is the report that I have. I'm looking forward to the day when my reports are about great things that are happening with kids in buildings and all the fun things that we're doing for the holidays. That's all that I have, Mr. D'Angelo.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Mindy. So let's move on to item 4 of public participation. We have a lot of people here, probably 60 or so people from the public. So I would ask that if you do have a question, please state your name and go ahead and ask or question or comment. Anyone from the public? Okay, we'll give another 30 seconds or so just in case. But again, does anyone from the public have any questions or concerns regarding what Dr. Minetti just outlined? It is a tough decision. Let's hope that we get through the Christmas holiday and, hopefully in January, by January 11th, we'll have some good news. But until then, we're pretty much under following the guidelines and what most other school districts are doing. So again, anyone from the public have a question or concern? Okay, with that, Mr. Chicoletti, if you would like to make the motions under item 5, new business. How about if I read it? Item 5, new business. A, approve the request for reappointment for solicitor Abe Truelove effective the 2021 calendar year. Could I get a motion?
Motion, Mr. Chairman.
Motion by Mr. Chicoletti. Could I get a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Poliafrico. Jan, do a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Cullen,
Yes.
Mr. DeMarcus,
Yes.
Ms. Paglione,
Yes.
Mr. Poliafrico,
Yes.
Mr. Parola,
Yes.
Mr. Poplawski,
Yes.
Mr. Reason,
Yes.
Mr. Chicoletti,
Yes.
and Mr. D'Angelo.
Yes. Thank you. Item B.
Approve the recommended changes to the district's health and safety plan.
Motion by Mr. Chicoletti. Can I get a second?
Second. Second.
Second by Mr. Cullen. Any questions or concerns? Bose, would you maybe just like to give us a quick of the changes that we're making?
Sure. The district's health and safety plan has to be updated if we're bringing back any students to the district, because we had to sign an attestation document with the state last week. And that basically is just a document that states if you're going to be full virtual, or if you're going to come in and even have one student in, or you're doing any sports, you have to sign it, that you are going to follow the masking order, and that you are also going to follow any of the protocols that the state has put in place regarding metrics and procedures for any type of closures if you have positive cases. So we will be looking to change just those pieces of the health and safety plan. We also had a change not in the health and safety plan, we had a change in another document so that they mirrored one another as far as how closing classroom procedures would be. And that document will also be out on our website tomorrow.
Okay, Jen, you want to do any other questions or concerns from the board? If not, Jen, give a roll call, please.
Okay. Mr. Cullen,
Yes.
Mr. DeMarcus,
Yes.
Ms. Paglione,
Yes.
Mr. Poliafico,
Yes.
Mr. Parolo,
Yes.
Mr. Poplawski,
Yes.
Mr. Rusin,
Yes.
Mr. Chicoletti,
Yes.
and Mr. D'Angelo.
Yes.
Motion is passed.
Okay, item 6, personnel, Mr. Chicoletti.
Mr. Chairman, approve the appointment of Elazar Rosado Delgado as district assistant at the rate of $14.20 per hour, no benefits, as per the negotiated agreement, effective 2020-21 school year.
Motion by Mr. Chicoletti. Could I get a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Cullen. Any questions or concerns? Jen?
Mr.
Roll call.
Cullen,
Yes.
Mr. DeMarcus,
Yes.
Ms. Paglione,
Yes.
Mr. Poliafico,
Yes.
Mr. Parolo,
Yes.
Mr. Poplawski,
Yes.
Mr. Rusin,
Yes.
Mr. Chicoletti,
Yes.
and Mr. D'Angelo.
Yes.
Motion is passed.
Item B.
Item B, approve the resignation of Konya Manning, district assistant, PCA, effective December 4th, 2020.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Chicoletti, second by Mr. Cullen. Any questions or concerns here? Okay, Jen, you want to take the roll call?
Okay, Mr. Cullen,
Yes.
Mr. DeMarcus,
Yes.
Ms. Paglione,
Yes.
Mr. Poliafico,
Yes.
Mr. Parolo,
Yes.
Mr. Poplawski,
Yes.
Mr. Rusin,
Yes.
Mr. Chicoletti,
Yes.
and Mr. D'Angelo.
Yes.
Motion is passed.
Okay, that does it for all the agenda items. Item 7 is, so we got to schedule our first board meeting for next year. And any suggestions, Dr. Benedetti, what you're thinking?
The first Thursday in January is the 7th. It would be right before we were scheduled to reopen. Does that date sound good to everybody?
I'm good with that.
Okay.
And hopefully by then we'll get some, have some data coming in. And, you know, we can make an informed decision on what we want to do on the 11th. So, I gotta ask Mr. Trulove here, with that, it says that we want to adjourn the public meeting and then open up a reorg meeting, or can't we just
What I
go
would
and do a
suggest-
reorganization?
What I
As
would
separate
suggest you just,
Group of items.
what I would suggest, well, Mr. Poplawski has his hand up, so I don't want to interrupt.
No, you're good, David, Mr. Truelove. I was waving to one of the kids in the thing.
Okay. My recommendation is you just recess from this meeting to the other one. That's why you're just moving from one to the other.
Okay, so you're saying adjourn it, right?
Yeah, you can recess. Go you
Recess?
meeting for the other, because if you adjourn, you actually.
Okay, yeah, we have to start over again. So what we're gonna do now at this time is to adjourn this public meeting. I just want to take a minute to thank everybody on the board and all the admin and all the teachers and parents. A lot of things have happened this year, and we've really worked together, tried to do the right thing. I think that we've we've done what's right for our kids, including what we've done tonight. I'd just like to thank everybody for your cooperation, and I look forward to working with the next administration of the district. So at this time, could we recess this meeting and begin our reorganization meeting? Can I get a motion to do that?
So move, Mr. Chairman.
Make a second.
Chicoletti makes the motion, and Mr. Collin, okay. So now we are going to reorganize for new leadership positions. And I'm just reading this. We will need to elect a temporary president from the holdover members, which is anybody. And that temporary president will preside over the meeting and will begin the process of nominating officers for 2021. So,
Mr. D'Angelo,
how does anybody want to do this?
Mr. D'Angelo, I nominate you to be the temporary president to hold nominations.
Okay, motion by Mr. Chicoletti. Could I get a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Collin. Let's do a roll call, Jen.
Okay. Mr. Cullen,
Yes.
Mr. DeMarcus,
Yes.
Ms. Paglione,
Yes.
Mr. Poliafico,
Yes.
Mr. Parolo,
Yes.
Mr. Poplawski,
Yes.
Mr. Reason,
Yes.
Mr. Chicoletti,
Yes.
and Mr. D'Angelo.
Yes. Okay, so I open up the nominations to be the president of the school district for the upcoming year. Does anyone have any nominations?
Yes, I'd like to nominate Dave Chicoletti as president.
Mr. Collin nominates Mr. Chicoletti.
Okay, I'll second.
Okay, there's a second by Ms. Paglione. Does anyone else have any nominees? Okay, we'll close the nominations and we'll do a roll call vote to nominate Mr. Chicoletti as the incoming president for the 2021 school year.
Mr. Cullen,
Yes.
Mr. DeMarcus,
Yes.
Ms. Paglione,
Yes.
Mr. Poliafico,
Yes.
Mr. Parolo,
Yes.
Mr. Poplawski,
Yes.
Mr. Reason,
Yes.
Mr. Chicoletti,
Yes.
and Mr. D'Angelo.
Yes. So with that, I turn it over to you, Mr. Chicoletti, and you will take care of item number 2, the call for nominations for vice president.
Okay, first, Mr. D'Angelo, thank you. It's been a tough year. You did a great job as president with all of the adverse things that are going on. Never seen anything like this. I think we're doing pretty good. So thank you for your year of service, and thank you, board members, for your vote of confidence. So at this time, I will ask for nominations for vice president of the board. So do I have a motion?
I'd like to nominate Mayor Jane Paglione as vice president.
I'll second that.
Okay, are there any other nominations for vice president?
Yeah, I'd like to nominate Jeff Poliafico.
Do I have a second?
I'll decline that nomination.
Okay, you're declining that. Are there any other nominations? Okay, the nominations are closed with one name, Mary Jane Patina Paglione. So Jen, can you do a roll call vote?
Mr. Cullen,
Yes.
Mr. DeMarcus,
Yes.
Miss Paglione, you'll abstain.
Yes, or do I abstain?
You abstain. You abstain, but yes.
You're allowed to vote for yourself.
Are you allowed to vote for yourself? Does she have to? Does she have to abstain, Mr. Truelove? No.
She doesn't have to abstain.
Okay. Mr. Poliafico,
Yes.
Mr. Parolo,
Yes.
Mr. Poplawski,
Yes.
Mr. Rusin,
Yes.
Mr. Chicoletti,
Yes.
and Mr. D'Angelo.
Yes.
Motion's passed.
Okay, appointments to the Bucks County Technical High School. I
Wait, you
know
skipped,
that,
you
Oh, wait a
skipped
minute.
one, Dave.
Dave, you skipped the treasurer.
oh, sorry. Okay, so we're going to ask for nominations for treasurer as per the PA code. This appointment will need to be reaffirmed in May 2021. So do I have a nomination for treasurer? I know Mr. D'Angelo holds that spot now.
I'll nominate Mr. D'Angelo.
Okay. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay. So nomination for Mr. D'Angelo by Mr. Parolo and second by Mr. Rusin. Any other nominations? Nominations are closed. Can we have a roll call vote?
Mr. Cullen,
Yes.
Mr. DeMarcus,
Yes.
Miss Paglione,
Yes,
Mr. Poliafico,
Yes.
Mr. Parolo,
Yes.
Mr. Poplawski,
Yes.
Mr. Rusin,
Yes.
Mr. Chicoletti, Mr. Chicoletti, and Mr. D'Angelo.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I lost my connection there, but I'm yes.
Okey doke.
Okay, so now appointments to the Bucks County Technical School. I know that Mr. Rusin held that position last year, so if he'd like to take that, I will gladly appoint him.
I'll take it.
Okay, so now,
Aren't there two appointments? now?
yes, there's
Right.
actually two, but who Mr. Parolo, it doesn't think he's interested, so does someone else want to be the alternate voting delegate?
No, it's not. It's not an alternate voting. It's a
It's a
voting,
regular
right?
voting.
Yeah.
Well, here on the agenda, it has alternate voting delegate.
I think it might be an older sheet.
Okay, so let's
But
correct that.
in other words, you gotta make two appointments.
Okay, so the first one will be Mr. Rusin. Does anyone else want that other position?
I'll take it, Dave. If anybody, I'll
Good.
take it.
All
I'll
right,
second
thank you,
that.
Mr. Collins. So roll call vote.
Okay, and sorry about that alternate. Mr. Cullen,
Yes.
Mr. DeMarcus,
Yes.
Miss Paglione,
yes,
Mr. Poliafico,
Yes.
Mr. Parolo,
Yes.
Mr. Poplawski,
Yes.
Mr. Rusin,
Yes.
Mr. Chicoletti,
Yes.
and Mr. D'Angelo.
Yes.
Okay, item number B, Bucks County Intermediate Unit. I know that Mr. D'Angelo has been holding that position, and I'd like to nominate him to continue in that position. Is that okay, Mr. D'Angelo?
Fine.
I need a alternate voting delegate. Does somebody want to volunteer? Nobody wants to volunteer. Okay, you know what? I'll put my name in there.
Dave, I'll take it. I'll take it if nobody wants.
Okay, all right. That's great. Okay, so we have the voting delegate as John D'Angelo, and we have the alternate as Mr. Cullen. Thank you, gentlemen. That's great. Usually can't find anybody for those positions. Okay, information and discussion. Board meeting dates for 2021. When we come back on the 7th, we'll set dates if that's okay. Or would we like to schedule 2 dates for every month? And then we could always cancel them. What's the board's pleasure?
Let's do.
I go for
This
two
pandemic's over.
meetings a month.
I second what John Rusin said.
It's probably wise to schedule 2 meetings, and we could always cancel. And during the summer months, when school's not in session, we close for summer break. We have 1 meeting in June and come back in August. So I'll ask Dr. Minetti to put the 1st and 3rd Thursdays from January to May. And then the June, July, and August, 1 meeting, and then back again in September, October, and November.
Do you want 1 meeting in July or no meetings in July?
No meeting in July, if that's okay with everybody.
That's all right with me.
Yeah, we might not know. I mean, who knows, right? Or depending on what happens. And look, we can always schedule one.
Yeah, and as long as everybody has an idea when the meetings are, at least we know that we're, until this COVID is over. Okay, the other thing is committees. So I'm going to ask Jen to send me a list of the current committees. I'd like for everyone to try to be on at least 2 committees. I'll be creating a new committee, and that is going to be to work with, I'm sorry. Hello? Am I still here?
Yeah, you're here.
Okay, so we're going to form another committee, and we were asked to do that along with the borough to talk about recreation. So I'll put 4 members on that committee, and they'll sit down and with members of the borough council and decide as to what we want to do. The full board could give them some guidelines, but they'll go and sit down and decide what we want to do. So I should have the committees back before the next meeting. Are there any other comments?
I'd like to comment and tell Steve Cullen that I'm thankful that he's joining the tech school board.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. That's a good idea. Okay, so let's go around the horn here. Mr. D'Angelo, anything?
No, I'm good. Just
Mr. Cullen, anything?
Yeah, I just had 1 question. I know we'll be out of school and all that stuff right now, but didn't the borough donate a truck for us, like a plow truck and stuff? Is Mr. McHugh, are you still out there? I want to know if we have any progress on that truck.
I haven't heard any, Steve. I'll follow up with George to see what's going on with it.
George retired. I guess Mr. Dillon.
Kevin Everett.
Okay, is that it, Mr. Cullen?
Yeah, well, I just want to thank the administration for all their hard work. I know it's been a really tough year, and I can't wait to get through this and get back to, like Dr. Minetti said earlier, get back to some normal, school functions and school projects, and I'm just kind of excited to just get through this and anxious, So, but and that's all I really have. Thank you, administration, everybody.
Mr. Popolowski, I'll come back to him. Mr. Rusin?
I just want to thank Dave Trulove for his work on that, the legal stuff that we talked about. And, I know you put time on it, and I appreciate it. And also thank the staff for everything they did. I know Dr. Minetti worked hard, and Chris McHugh, and it's appreciated. Thank you.
Okay, so let's go back to Mr. Popolowski.
I just want to thank the staff and the administration, especially doing virtual conferences probably isn't the ideal thing to do. So in addition to the work they're doing in the building and with the kids and virtual, they also had to set up virtual parent conferences, which is something different this year. So I just wanted to shout them out.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Poplawski. Mr. Ferrolo.
Yeah, I'd like to thank Mr. D'Angelo for being president last year. Done a nice job. I'd like to welcome back Jen back to the thing. And I'd like to thank the staff too. And I'd like to thank all the parents out there too for understanding and working along with us, because it's not easy right now. So that's all I got.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Perolo. Mr. Poliafico?
Yeah, I'd like to, just like everyone else said, thanks to Rose and Chris and the whole staff and all the way down to teachers and custodians and, and I really want to, say thank you to the parents for being so understanding. We understand, what they're going through. A lot of us are parents and grandparents, and we're all concerned that, and really to the kids, keep your chins up and do what just do what you're asked and try to go with the flow. And that's pretty much it on that. And Mr. Truelove, congratulations on another year, and great to have you, and happy holidays to everyone.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Poliafico. Mrs. Paglione.
Yes, I'd like to thank John D'Angelo for doing a great job during this difficult year. I mean, it was difficult for all of us, but he had to lead the way. So I'd like to say thank you to him. Also, I'd like to wish Dr. Minetti, the administration, the staff, all of our board members and our board solicitor, Mr. Truelove, a very happy and healthy holiday. That's all.
Okay. Anything else?
Hey, Dave.
Yes?
Hey, Dave, can I just add one thing? I know.
Sure. Go ahead.
That we usually get a little comment from our IU representative, and I know Mary Agnes is online here as I see her, and I just would like to give her a quick update on how things are going with our IU kids that are actually in our building.
Go ahead, Mary Agnes. How are you? Go right ahead.
Thank you, John. No, things are going very well. The plan's in place, the IU plan, the district plan. I had an opportunity today to meet with Kelly Rosado and some of the district nurses, just to make sure that we're all on the same page, communicating and, supporting the students and keeping everyone safe. So thank you. Thank you for checking in.
Okay, thank you, Mary Agnes. Mr. DeMarcus?
Yes, thank you. Again, thank yous all around to everybody, the staff, the teachers, the parents, administration. Congratulations to Mr. Ciccoletti. Looking forward to another year. And yeah, thank you. That's all I have for tonight.
Okay, thank you. I just have a comment here. I received several emails from the parents of the special needs children. I want to thank you for those emails. Some were very compelling. And just want to let you know that the board did take all of that under consideration, and that reflects in the decision that we made. I'm just going to ask again that the parents try to monitor their children if they have any symptoms at all, to keep them home. This COVID-19 is getting bad, and with the health department being several days behind, it's going to come down to the parents. So once again, let's keep our eyes open, and if any symptoms do pop up, let's let the nurses know. So thank you everyone for your kind words. I want to wish everybody happy holidays. We'll be seeing everybody in January. Mr. Truelove?
Yeah, everybody had said some nice things about me and our firm tonight. I wanted to acknowledge those words and thank all of you for our reappointment tonight. We really enjoy working with the board administration here. You folks, both the board administration staff, are unsung heroes for a lot of people, I think, given the efforts you put forward. A lot of people think the school board members get paid. I know you don't. So all of your time is volunteer time. And the administration works around the clock to try to meet all the needs and deal with all the mandates that are coming down from different sources about how to deal with this part of it, that part of it, especially with the COVID situation. So you're in very, very uncharted territory. You're doing a great job. We enjoy working with all of you. We look forward to working with you this next year. And to echo Ms. Paglione, wish happy holidays to everybody and a safe and healthy one as well. Thank you.
Okay, so with that being said, thank you, Mr. Truelove. It's a pleasure to work with you also. Do we have to have public participation? I don't think so. Is there anyone from the public that has any comments? With there being no comments, does someone have a comment? I don't think so. Okay, so could I have a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Do I have a
Second. Second.
Okay, so motion by Mr. Cullen, second by Mr. Poliafico. The meeting is adjourned. Thank you.